If we can stop traffic, just make sure no one's on the bridge right now. If there's a crew up there.
Tonight, police had just 90 seconds to stop traffic on Baltimore's Francis Scott Key Bridge. The new details as the investigation intensifies.
Based on sonar scans, we firmly believe that the vehicles are encased in the superstructure and concrete that we tragically saw it come down.
Plus, what we're learning about the victims, fathers, husbands, who came to America for a better life.
They were people who were very honest, hardworking people.
The CBS Evening News starts now. Good evening, I'm Nora O'Donnell, and thank you for being with us. We do want to begin with some breaking news because Maryland officials have just announced that they've recovered the first bodies from the water after that deadly bridge collapse. And authorities also revealing they are now shifting to a new phase. Investigators today were on board that cargo ship, interviewing the crew and collecting evidence. The Navy says they're going to bring in barges into the port that will be outfitted with these heavy lift cranes to help clear the channel. Now, the cranes, which have a lift capacity of up to 1,000 tons, will be used along with other support vessels to remove the submerged portions of the bridge. The Biden administration is saying today it's going to work aggressively to reopen the port of Baltimore, which handles $200 million worth of cargo on a single day. We're also getting new details about the victims who were working in the middle of the night on the bridge. One was just 26 years old. Another victim's brother tells CBS News his brother was a hard worker, saying, quote, if he could work every hour, every day, he would. These are just some heartbreaking stories tonight. Let's bring in CBS's Chris Van Cleve. He will start us off from Baltimore, where new details are coming in. Good evening, Chris.
Good evening, Nora. Maryland State Police just told us it was this morning when divers spotted a red pickup truck about 25 feet under the surface of the water. Inside were the first two bodies. They've been able to locate two of the missing. Those families have now been notified of their loved ones passing, and the investigation now is ramping up. This scene of destruction and loss remains frozen, but tonight praise for the crew's critical Mayday call.
There's a ship approaching has just lost their steering. We got to stop all traffic.
Giving police a couple minutes warning, the powerless ship was on a collision course with the Francis Scott Key Bridge.
If not for several factors, including those responders' efforts, the Mayday call, the maintenance closure that was already underway, and the time of day of this impact, the loss of life might have been in the dozens.
Tragically, the search and rescue efforts of yesterday turned into a grim mission of recovering the bodies of the 6 people who are presumed dead. NTSB Chair Jennifer Homendy.
Our investigation can wait. The most important thing right now is to reunite families with their loved ones.
But that investigation is moving forward. The National Transportation Safety Board is analyzing the contents of the ship's voice data recorder. Despite challenging weather conditions, a team of investigators were on board the cargo ship Dolly gathering evidence. Among the things they'll seek to determine, was the ship's engine choked out by dirty fuel before it hit the bridge? Was there a world where this doesn't come down when it's hit this way?
You know, and that's something we're going to have to look at, and we'll want to look at the design of the bridge as part of that.
New images from the FBI show the sonar searchers are relying on to help navigate the debris field. Dive team leader Brian Hudson on CBS Mornings.
It's a very dangerous situation underwater with the rubble still settling. It's not a great spot for divers. It's incredibly black water.
I want to start.
Secretary Buttigieg says repairs will take time, leaving one of the country's busiest ports shut down and its 8,000 workers in limbo. At least 2 cargo containers went overboard. 56 others on the ship hold hazardous material, though not considered a threat to the public. The ship's bow is said to be resting on the river floor. The Coast Guard will have to refloat the more than 900-foot-long vessel to clear the waterway.
I think the main challenge here is removing those large trusses and steel members off the bow of the ship.
Maryland State Police also telling us tonight they're not able to reach the other bodies. They're going to need those Navy heavy lift cranes to clear some of that debris before they can recover the rest of the missing. The Navy, their plan is to get that waterway open as fast as possible so the port can resume operations, Nora.
I heard them calling this now a salvage operation. Chris Van Cleve, thank you so much. We are also learning new details about the victims of this tragedy, 6 construction workers who were all pursuing the American dream. CBS's Nicole Skanga spoke with a local pastor who knows the families.
A Baltimore City landmark, now a personal tragedy.
These were fathers, and these were sons, and these were husbands, and these are people who their families relied on.
We've determined the countries of origin of those that are presumed deceased to be Mexico, Guatemala, El Salvador, and Honduras.
Miguel Luna, a father of 3, was originally from El Salvador. The 40-year-old left for work at 6:30 p.m. to fill potholes on the Key Bridge.
He's supposed to come in the morning back home and never come.
Maynard Yasir Suazo Sandoval would have celebrated his 35th birthday next month. He believed in giving back and donated to a children's soccer league in Honduras. His brother prays his body is found so they can bring him back to be buried.
We know that they were hard workers. We know that they love soccer. We know that they love, their families and the community.
Jesus said, call no one good, but these were good men.
Father Walker has been mourning alongside families.
My advocacy is that we don't abandon these families, that we come together as a Baltimore community.
A community these men loved.
This bridge was a symbol of America.
We feel so proud that they trust us to rebuild, to repair this beautiful bridge that have a huge history in our nation. And that is an example of our contribution.
Tuesday's bridge collapse marks the second time in 1 year construction workers were killed on the job along the same highway in the city of Baltimore. Last March, 6 highway workers were struck fatally by a speeding car. Nora.
Nicole Skanga, thank you. Let's turn now to some more breaking news. We just learned that former Senator and Vice Presidential nominee Joe Lieberman has died following complications from a fall. He